A blessing is when we do something good, when we do something really good. Mediocre or high level, doesn't matter. We do something really good. It's planted in our mind. When it's planted in our mind and we see something similar, or we see something that can continue it, it will trigger it to open. It will trigger it to open. Example, if in your previous life you were very apt towards giving to the poor, in this life, when you see poor people, it will trigger that, like, oh, ayo. And then you go home, you say, never mind, go home, and enjoy yourself and just relax. And you go out again, you see another poor person, and you see them laying there, you go, oh. And that pain is a blessing. That pain is a trigger. And then you say, you know what? I'm going to go and help them do something. And then you go and help, you start buying food. And then they smile back at you and say, thank you. And that thank you is worth $1 million. And then you say, you know what? I like that. And you go and buy 10, then you buy 2, then you buy 30, 40, 50, and you increase and you start helping. And then you start doing that, you're connecting back with the previous life that you've done something good. Example, in your previous life, if you were someone that was teaching Dharma, or you were someone that did meditation, or you were someone that did a lot of retreats, in this life, if you see something related, oh. If you see a monk or you see a lady meditating, you go, oh. I'm here in the restaurant enjoying myself, listening to the music, and they're meditating. Oh. It hits something. When that opens something, it triggers the blessing from your previous life. That trigger is a blessing. It opens your imprint from a previous life. Imprint. So for someone else who have no imprints, they didn't help people in their previous lives, If they see a poor person on the road, they don't even see the poor person. They just drive by. Yeah, they don't see them. Have you gone with people, they don't see anybody? They just see themselves? Yes. And have you seen people that they can go to a temple, they can see people meditating, they're very sincere, they don't feel anything. They don't see anything. But if you take them into Louis Vuitton, they see everything. They're like, oh, wow. And they're taking all the new latest bags and wallets and blessing themselves with it, Like, wow. Why? It sounds funny, but that's how it is, isn't it? Because it doesn't trigger something. You say, well, why does that trigger them? Because in many lifetimes they practice greed. Or many lifetimes they practice self-cherishing mind. So if there are other things that increase the self-cherishing mind, they're more excited. They are excited to do it. Have you noticed some people are very easy to lie? When they lie, when they lie to you, they're smiling, they're very natural, everything's okay. They're the best actor in the world. They should win an Emmy. They're like... And there's some people, when they need to lie, it's so hard for them. They cannot even... They're like... I didn't see it. And they saw it. They saw it, but for some people it's very natural. Why? Because they're tapping into the many lifetimes of lying and hurting others. So they become cold. It's a propensity. It's a propensity. Now, a blessing is when something in your mind stream, now listen very carefully, when something in your mind stream that has been planted in a previous time, not necessarily a previous life, is dormant in your mind stream. And when you see something and it triggers it for you to do something good and continue, that is a blessing. Otherwise, what is a blessing? If you're a mafioso, if you're a gangster, you kill 300 people. If people even look at your wife, you shoot them. You come to the temple, you come to the church, and you pray, and, dear Buddha, I love you. And dear Buddha, please bless my family and me. You go outside the church and you kill somebody. I mean, it didn't trigger anything, did it? It didn't trigger anything. My point is this. A blessing it's a positive word. A blessing is not if you're a gangster, you're a gangster in your previous life, in this life you see a gangster and then you go, oh, I like that. You see the gangster and the gangster come near you, he shows you his gun and he shows you all his 30 girlfriends, you go, oh, I like that. And then it triggers your gangster blessing come forward. That's not a blessing, by the way. That's not a blessing to be triggered to do bad things. But people will be triggered by that. Some people are, let's not talk about gangsters. Some gangsters are quite nice people, actually. But let's talk about, bankers, white-collar crime. They play with all kinds of things on the stocks, and they embezzle millions of dollars, and then they tell their best friend, their best friends go, wow. They get a blessing. Can I do it? That's a bad blessing. But that's exactly, a trigger can be positive or negative. So therefore, a blessing is when something in you that has been planted in your mind stream, and it is triggered by something similar, and then it opens you up to do good things, change your mind, change your views, change your perspective, change your life. That is a real blessing. Why is it a blessing? Because from that trigger, from henceforth, you'll be doing good things. So it blesses your life. It blesses your family. It blesses your lineage. It blesses yourself. That's why it's called a blessing. Where can blessings come from? Blessings can come from our mother and fathers. Blessings can come from a statue. Blessings can come from a stupa. It can come from a lama. It can come from a dharma text. It can come from a scene. It can come from a memory. It can come from an event. It can come from a place. Example, you can go to Bodh Gaya, the place where Buddha became enlightened, because it's highly charged and highly blessed. I've been there. And when you go there, immediately you feel holy, you feel religious, you don't want to eat meat, you want to prostrate, you want to do pujas, you want to pray. Because that place triggers that in you. That's a place. A blessing of an event can be, maybe when you were younger, you remember your parents meeting the Dalai Lama, or your parents meeting the Pope, or your parents meeting Mahatma Gandhi or something, and how it changed their lives. And when you didn't understand it, when you got older, you thought about the event and how your parents changed at that and become even better people. Then you remember that in this life, when you're older, and you say, oh, I want to be like that, then you change. It's triggered by an event. Okay? Event. Then, let's say there's a very high monk who's done great meditations, and he's used his life to serve others. Or a great nun, she's used her life to serve others. And her mala that she's used to generate compassion, that she's recited Namo Omitofo, Namo Kwansuin Posa millions to generate her compassion, to gain the strength to benefit others. This has her blessings. Or it can be a cloth of a great being. The cloth doesn't have to be robes, it can be lay clothes of a great being. All right? Or even the ashes, a great being who has passed away, you have the ashes. The ashes are contained in a statue or contained in a stupa. Because in Buddhism, we don't take their ashes in an urn and bless everybody. You put it in something holy. So those items are very holy because the people that possess those items generated compassion, generated a mind of altruism, generated a mind of love and compassion and forgiveness. So their mind generation permeates their items. It permeates their body. It permeates the items that they touch. It permeates their environment. So when it permeates their environment, when you come in contact with it, it can trigger a previous imprint, and that's a blessing. Hence, in Buddhism, we like to circumambulate around a temple. We like to circumambulate a precious statue. We like to see relics. We like to put a precious item on our heads. We like to go and get a blessing of a lama. We like to do that. Why? The more we do it, the chances for it to trigger will be higher. Just think, for some people, it's just meeting their lama. For some people, it's meeting their lama, and the lama and what he speaks or what he says to them triggers a change in their mind to do more for others, to do better with their lives, to make more use with their lives to benefit others. So sometimes a lama speaking, a dharma talk can trigger. Some people, they did good things way millions of lifetimes ago, so to trigger it, we gotta go a little deeper. So they need to see their lama more than once, maybe a couple of thousand times, and they trigger something. But some people, they just see once, it triggers. Have you seen that? Some people leave the lama with tears and say, oh, wonderful, I want to do something, I want to join up, I want to commit. Some people leave the lama and say, well, the lama was very good looking, but that's it. But didn't you feel anything? Oh no, he was very good looking. And then that's it. But for some people, what is that? Is not the fault of the lama or the fault of the person, it's just that their imprint is not very strong. Let me give you an idea. If you want to catch a fish let's say you want to catch a fish as big as this room, but bite my tongue, we're not going to catch any fishes. Let's say we want to catch a fish this big, right? But our bait is this big. How? So if your bait's this big, you want to catch a fish that big, how? Like that, if the imprint in the person is very little, even Buddha Shakyamuni talk to them, they'll be like, yeah, really. Let me prove it to you. Buddha Shakyamuni appeared in the world, but not everybody's a Buddha. What does that tell you? Either he was a fake, he was Reverend Jim Jones incarnate, or our imprint wasn't very strong. So therefore, we can think in a logical way. Therefore, some people, when they meet the Lama, they listen to Dharma, they know it's right, but they can't do it. You know why they can't do it? Because their negative karma is too strong. Their negative karma is too strong, so they're too attracted to the lazy, easy way of life. They're not evil, they're just lazy. Lazy and evil is different. Lazy is habituation. And the sad thing is, the easy life can be over in a flash. In a flash. So therefore, now, a blessing is like that. Sometimes an event can happen that's not ordinary. People would like to call it a miracle. I like to look at it a little deeper. Sometimes an event that can be extraordinary can happen that's not normal. When something else is about to happen, there's a sign. Okay? Example, sometimes a Lama will come to the area to give a Dharma talk. Just before he arrives, or when he arrives, there'll be rainbows appearing in the sky. Very clear, very evident. Not, on the other side of the world, right over where he is. I've seen that. I've seen it with my own eyes. And once he starts talking, the rainbow disappears. There was not even rain, no rain. That's happened. I've seen it with my own eyes, not once or twice. And that's a sign. All right? Why do rainbows appear? There are many reasons. One is that the local deities are very happy. And so they can feel the compassion of the Lama. It's their sign to say, this person is good. We're happy he's here. That's all it is. Nothing more. So that's what a blessing is. A blessing is something that triggers your positive karma from a previous life. From a previous time, not even life. And it helps you to do something more now. That's what a blessing is. All right?